Welcome, everybody, to the Geek Report versus the NFL. I'm Brian West, and tonight I'm going to be making all my Week 7 selections of the 2018 NFL season. If you're new to the show, thanks for joining. Everybody else, welcome back. I've been on a little bit of a hot streak lately. I have selected 10 winners the last 4 weeks in a row, which has been putting Ryan, my co-host, and who is not me, who you may have seen occasionally host the show. Big Steelers fan. You may have missed him. He's always crying into his stupid yellow towel about how bad Big Ben sucks. Anyway, we're going to have any of that tonight because, as you can see, the Seahawks fan right here, and we are just crushing people. So there's a lot of good things we're going to talk about on this show. No crying into ugly, yellow, terrible towels. The terrible crybaby towels is what we call them around here in Seattle. But, anyway, yeah, I've been on a hot streak. 10 games again this week. I selected correctly from last week. Ryan, I believe, only got 8, which brings my total over him to 900 games picked correctly over him. I think I'm 900 games ahead. So I know we're only 7 weeks into the season, but the math definitely works. You're going to have to trust me on that. No, I think my lead is now 7 games on Ryan because, he just sucks at picking games. Clearly. Should always trust this guy. And considering this season, this season was tailor-made for me because I like to pick underdogs. I like to make selections that make absolutely no sense whatsoever. And this season is the season that makes no sense whatsoever. Week to week, who's going to win? Who's to say? The only person who really knows is this guy right here because I make picks that are so crazy, no sane person should ever listen to them. That being said, 10 wins, 4 weeks in a row. Oh, yeah. Come on, right here. On the other front, the side bet that me and Ryan have, if you don't know about, is that, like I said, I'm a diehard Seahawks fan. He's a diehard Steelers fan. Poor guy. Which we made a little bet at the beginning of the season that whichever one of our teams had the better record, the other person had to do the final show of this season topless. So if my Seahawks end up with a better record than Ryan's Pittsburgh Steelers, then he will be topless. Now, I know that you are all hoping that I will lose this bet. And I mean, who's to blame you? I can't blame you. I mean, I get to see myself topless every day. You guys don't know what you're missing. It's amazing. But anyway, that's the bet. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, he's up on that bet right now. My Seahawks are 3-3. His Steelers are 3-2-1. But I feel like a tie to the freaking Browns should count as 2 losses. But whatever. Bet's a bet. We'll see. Anyway, all that being said, we are not an official gambling site. I'd like to give our little disclaimer here before I get into our picks, or before I get into my weekly Hawk Talk here. We are not a gambling site. I pretty much put no effort into my picks. Like I said, I just look at the teams and say, I need this team to lose so Seattle can make the playoffs, so I usually bet on the other team. I mean, that's pretty much my logic in all these picks. And, there's a little bit more that goes into it. I do watch a lot of football, but I am by no means an expert, or what most of you would be even called competent most of the time. So if you are looking for a site that is going to give you some insider information so you can bet your home, this is not that site. That being said, if you want to bet your home, well, that's on you. I recommend you don't do that. I recommend you never bet more than you can afford to lose, but hey, whatever. You want to bet with me? 10 wins, 4 weeks in a row. Come on, how many of you can say that? Not many, I bet. Maybe nobody. Maybe just me. Anyway, if you're not here to gamble and you just want to listen to me randomly select picks or have a fun listen to a little NFL talk, well, then you've picked the right show. That's what we do here. That's all we do. In fact, most of the time, most people say all I do is just ramble incessantly about things that I don't know many about, honestly. In fact, I make up words most of the time. Throw in sentences that don't make sense. But I've learned if you say things confidently, nobody questions you. There we go. Speaking of nobody questioning you, let's talk about my beautiful Seattle Seahawks, because you know what? Everybody has questioned them all season long. I've heard it all. They're going to be lucky to win 6 games this year. Ha! I laughed it off. I said 10-6 to start the season. I may have to change that prediction. We may go 11-5 this year. I'd like to say 12-3, but not losing a game the rest of the season is probably not going to happen. And I may be a giant homer, but I'm not a complete fool. I'm only mostly an idiot. But yeah, man, the Seattle Seahawks went to London, had a jolly good day. Little tea. I do an accent, but I think there's a few people in England who listen to our show, and I don't want to insult them with my bad English accent. But yeah, we showed up, we kissed the Queen, and we kicked the shit out of the Las Vegas Raiders of Oakland. They showed up, and you know what? I mean, there's not much to talk about. Seattle just showed up and said, hey, everybody said we suck, and we think that's a load of horse shit. And Oakland said, well, you do suck. And Seattle says, we're going to find out real quick. And then we beat the crap out of them. And they found out real fast that we didn't suck. Like we told them. We told them right at the beginning. We're like, hey, Oakland, we're going to kick your ass. And they're like, shh, we're going to be on a 1-game winning streak after this. Because Oakland's they're just terrible. But, I mean, I am wearing my Marshawn Lynch jersey. You guys may be noticing it. Because even though he plays for Oakland right now, that game might have been the last time we got to see Beast Mode on the same field as the Seahawks ever. So, much love for Marshawn Lynch. Beast Mode, you're the best. You'll always be loved in Seattle. I don't care what uniform you wear. But yeah, so Seattle showed up. We kicked the crap out of Oakland. I'm not going to get into the game details. It was pretty one-sided. I mean, I think everything was summed up in the third quarter when someone was lifting David Carr off the ground about the 50th time, and you could visibly see him crying. So, I mean, when you make the other team cry, I mean, that's pretty much, I mean, that says it all, I would think. So, Seattle is now, 3-3. We've won a couple of really good games. We almost beat the Rams. We should have beat the Rams. God, I wish we could have got that one. I was not here to talk about that. Ryan filled in for me last week, which is probably for the best because I would have yelled a lot. I lost money in Vegas. I was so pissed. But we're not going to talk about all that. Anyway, the Seahawks seem to have righted the ship a little bit. A lot of our rookies are finally starting to play well. We've got a lot of young players. The offensive line seems to have gelled. We've had back-to-back 100-yard rushers. That is all a positive sign. Our offensive line is manhandling people, which is exactly the way that we want it. So that's all to say that, hey, it's 2012 all over again, man. The Hawks are back. We are going to show up. We're going to dismantle people. We're going to make you cry on national television like David Carr. God, who cried? I mean, he's quarterback, so it's kind of in the job description, but whatever. Anyway, we're back. Get ready. Get ready. All you people who hate the Hawks, and this is your least favorite part of the show, well, get ready because all the trash talking's coming back. Hawk Nation 12s, we're back in full throat. Woo! Be screaming about how great our team is, and y'all are going to be walking around going, God, I hate the Seahawks fans. They're so obnoxious. Goddamn right we are. We're going to root our team right to the Super Bowl. R.I.P. Paul Allen. The rest of the season's for you, buddy. That's right. We're going to raise that Lombardi for our beloved, recently deceased owner. I know most of you are laughing at me, but don't do it. 10 wins, 4 weeks in a row. I know what I'm talking about. You take that shit to the bank. All right, moving on. No one wants to talk about Seahawks anymore. Hell, I don't even want to talk about Seahawks anymore. But, all right, on to the picks. You guys ready? You got your pieces of paper ready and your pencils? Jot down all this gold information. I don't know. Randomly picking people. Unfortunately, I'm not going to pick the Hawks this week. I know, shocker. I pick them every week, but they're on a bye. Ugh. What a terrible week to go on a bye. Everybody wants to see more of the Seahawks just pounding teams into the dirt. Next week is the Lions. Spoiler alert, I'm picking Seattle to crush the Lions next week. Just stomp them. Anyway, all right. I mean, it's going to be the worst thing that happened to Detroit since Toyota. It's going to be bad. All right, here we go. This week's pick, so. It's week 7. Thursday night game. It's a good one. The Broncos are traveling to Arizona, to the desert, to play the Cardinals. Most people are picking the Broncos to win this. I'm going to say the Cardinals are going to win this. Cardinals are actually pretty tough at home. Josh Rosen is a better quarterback than most of us thought he was going to be. And by most of us, I mean me. I don't know if anybody else thought he was going to be good, but I thought he was going to be garbage. I was wrong. He's actually pretty decent. And like I said, the Cardinals play tough at home. So I'm going to say the Broncos suck. And the Cardinals are going to get this game at home in Arizona. All right, Sunday games. Sorry about that. Get a little fluids in the throat. Get a little... Whatever, I'm moving on. Chargers are playing the Titans. The Chargers are going to be at home. The Titans, the Titans were really good, and then last week they got their butts whooped. I think there was like 15 sacks on them. I think Marcus Mariota is still laying on the turf somewhere. Chargers, pretty good team. I think they might be one of the better ones in the NFL. And they're playing at home. So I think last week was kind of a fluke for Tennessee. I do think Tennessee is still a pretty decent team, but I do not think they're going to go to the San Diego, Los Angeles Chargers and win. So I'm going to say the Chargers are going to win this one. All right. The Texans are traveling to Jacksonville, who got their doors blown off by the really bad Cowboys. I mean, they got whooped by the Cowboys. The Texans squeaked out another victory, so hey, I picked them like 6 weeks in a row, and I've got a couple wins out of them now. But I do think that the Texans' luck is going to run out this week. I think they're going to run into a pissed off, embarrassed buzzsaw of a team with Jacksonville playing at home, who wants to prove to everybody that they still are a good team, and they're going to be licking their wounds from that last week. So I do not think it's a good week to be a Houston Texans fan. I think Jacksonville may maul this team. All right, next up, the Panthers are traveling to the city of brotherly love to play the Philadelphia Eagles. This is two mediocre teams. I mean, I don't think the Panthers are all that good, but I don't think the Eagles are all that good either. But since the Eagles are at home, and really I need the Eagles to win, I'm going to say the Eagles. I don't know. Battle 9-7 teams. Who's got a coin? Let's flip it. So I'll go with the home team. The Eagles against the Panthers. Next up, the Purple People Eaters of Minnesota are traveling to the suddenly good again Jets. Minnesota should win this game, but the Jets have been playing really good, and they're playing at home. And Minnesota's not been great on the road. So I'm going to go I think my first upset pick of the week, man. I'm going to go the Jets in this one. Also, probably because I kind of want the Vikings to lose. I need everybody in the NFC to be 8-8 so the Hawks can get a playoff spot. But honestly, I just don't know if the Vikings are that good. And the Jets, like I said, they've been kind of playing pretty good. Josh Darnold is a pretty good quarterback. So why not? Upset of the week. Well, one of my upsets of the week. I'm going to pick a lot of them. I'm going to say the Jets are going to find a way to beat the Vikings. New England is heading to Chicago. New England just knocked off the undefeated Kansas City Chiefs, and they're traveling to Chicago. Chicago is really tough at home. God, I want to pick the Bears in this really bad, but Trubisky's terrible. Is there any way that the Bears can beat the Patriots? I mean, I guess there is. Tough defense, but I'm going to have to go with the Patriots in this one. But next week, if the Bears did win it, I want to say that I almost picked them. Very few people would almost pick the Bears against the Patriots. All right, Bills and Colts should battle of two absolutely terrible teams. You know what? I'm going to go with the home team, Colts. The Bills are garbage. I say that every week about a lot of teams, and somehow they win. The Colts aren't good either, so I wouldn't be surprised if somehow the Bills won this. But in a battle of two really bad teams, you always go with the home team. So I'm going to go with the Colts on this one. The Browns are heading to Tampa Bay to play the Buccaneers. I don't think the Buccaneers are very good. I do think the Browns are actually better than a lot of people give them credit for. But it is at home, Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay almost won this last week. I'm going to call Cleveland. I'm going to call Cleveland the upset. I think Cleveland's going to travel to Tampa Bay and get this one. There we go. The Lions are heading to Miami to play the Dolphins, who the Dolphins beat the Bears in overtime. Dude, fumbled the ball on the one, Drake, and then he cried into his towel for 30 minutes. What is that all about? Quit crying. Get up and just run another touchdown there. Run the ball. You got a game to finish. You ain't got time to cry. Kenyon, come on, man. That being said, I think the Dolphins used all the magic they had last week, and I think the Lions aren't that bad. So I'm going to say the Lions are going to go into Miami, and they're going to beat the Dolphins. New Orleans is heading to Baltimore in this is actually a pretty good game. The Saints are one of the best teams in the NFC. The Ravens, week to week, are showing themselves to be consistently pretty good. We're going to find out a lot about this team, both these teams. I'm going to say the Ravens. The Ravens are really tough to beat at home, and I think the Saints are really good, but I don't know, man. The Ravens are tough to beat at home. They have a good defense, a pretty talented offense, and I think they're going to come to play in this one. So I'm going to say the Ravens are going to pull the upset and beat the Saints. The Cowboys are heading to Washington to play the Native Americans. The Cowboys got their one good win this last week when somehow they destroyed Jacksonville. That is going to go to their heads. They are not a good team. And the Washington Native Americans appear to be a decent team, and they're playing at home. So I'm going to go with Washington over the Cowboys. The Rams are heading to San Francisco to play the Niners, who almost pulled one out against Green Bay this last week. You know what, this Niners team, every time I want to write them off, they're like in every single game. CJ Bethea somehow manages to keep these games close every single week. And the Rams are due a trap game, but I don't think I can pick the Niners to be that trap team. I'm going to say the Rams are going to beat the Niners, but God, I hope the Niners somehow find a way to beat the Rams. God, I hate picking the Rams. They're really good. Ugh. Hate the Rams. All right, the Bengals are heading to Kansas City to play the Chiefs, who took their first loss of the season against the Patriots, and they're going to be real mad and real fired up. The Bengals, I think, are one of the best teams in the NFC or in the AFC. I know they lost to Pittsburgh last week, but that game is always close in a divisional game, and honestly, the Bengals lost on a last-second touchdown from Antonio Brown. I think the Bengals are the better team here. I think they've got a better defense. And even though I think the Chiefs are going to be a good team, I think the Chiefs are going to take their second loss in a row. I'm going to say the Bengals are going to go into Kansas City and pull the upset off and beat the Chiefs. And then finally, we got Monday Night Football. The Giants are headed to the Falcons. This one's easy. The Giants are real bad. Atlanta is also real bad, but I think Atlanta has a better offense, even though their defense is completely decimated. If you have, I think the only winner in this game is fantasy football owners if they have Saquon Barkley, because he may rush for 700 yards. But I'm going to say the Falcons are going to squeak this one out because, I'll be honest, the loser of this game's season is officially over. So give it to the home team, the Falcons. And there you go, everybody. There's my picks for Week 7. Please feel free to leave us your comments below. Let us know who you're picking. Let me know exactly how insane my picks are, or if you think I'm a genius, or pretty much anything. I'm down to listen to anybody's thoughts, as long as you write them down. I don't know. I'll read them. Comments. Say something about it. That's the kind of guy I am. But if you'd like to follow me on Twitter, you can follow me at BrianWest53. I'm also there if you'd like to comment and let me know exactly how bad of a NFL game picker I am. I'd be more than happy to talk to you about it there anyway, as well. So until next week, Ryan will be here next week to do the picks. But I don't know. Thanks for watching. Go Hawks. And stay awesome, everybody.